depth feels no regret. While Grayson raced me to the ER, I ended us. Lila, is this really necessary? Avery only brushed you, and she already apologized. I touched the gash still seeping on my forehead and laughed softly. Yes. Necessary. I turned to the man I'd loved for 8 years. Grayson, the curtain's down. I'm done playing my part. Before we go on, hit subscribe and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. 1. The Maybach slammed to a stop. Grayson white-knuckled the wheel, silence thick, before he choked out, "Is it really that big a deal, Lila?" I said nothing. His voice cracked like a whip. Avery said she's sorry. It was an accident. I stared at the streetlights blurring past and, for the first time, felt empty. Grayson opened his mouth, glanced at the blood on my temple, and paled. Forget it. Hospital first. The moment I stepped out, Avery sprinted over on stilettos and seized my hand. "Miss Sterling, I'm so sorry." "Mr. Cross said you're hurt badly." Tears wobbled in her voice. "I only went to the penthouse to pack Mr. Cross's briefs for his trip. I didn't know you were inside." I thought it was a burglar." I panicked. I smiled thinly and slid my hand free. "Save the monologue for Grayson. We don't need the encore." She froze, then clutched my arm again, sinking as if to kneel. "Please, hit me if you want. I'll kneel right here." The yank sent my head spinning. "Enough, Lila." Grayson hauled her up, irritation flaring. "Everything Avery said is true. Can you stop being impossible?" He exhaled sharply. "She called me the second it happened. We missed our flight, had to rebook, important meetings blown." Then, softer but still scolding, "If you'd told anyone you were dropping by, she wouldn't have swung the bronze paperweight." I looked up at him. "So it's my fault? I need permission to enter my own home?" His brows knit. Before he could answer, Avery jumped in again. "Miss Sterling, don't fight with Mr. Cross over me. Your wedding's this weekend." I actually laughed. "Wedding?" I faced Grayson. "It's off." His expression snapped. "What did you say?" I said, "It's off." His voice cracked upward. "Lila. Marriage isn't a game, or had you forgotten? Your grandmother begged me, on her deathbed, to give her a date. You knelt, remember?" I nodded slowly. "She's gone now. No need to pretend anymore. You're free, Grayson." His face went stone cold. "You're being hysterical. Miss Sterling, please." Avery chimed, eyes flicking to gauge his anger. Grayson loosened his tie with a jerk. "Whatever. You're emotional. We'll talk once you calm down." Their voices buzzed like mosquitoes. My headache spiked. "I am calm. I've never been clearer." I held his gaze, word by word. 8 years. Companies unstable, too busy, too tired, promise after promise pushed back, until Eleanor died. I studied his blank mask and smiled. "Truth is, you had plenty of time, for Swiss slopes, Arctic whales, starlit Maldivian decks." Color drained from his cheeks, his Adam's apple bobbed. "How?" I glanced at Avery, lips curving. "Those Instagram posts you curated, weren't they meant for this exact moment? Congratulations. You waited long enough, you won." Then back to Grayson. "We're done, Grayson." Curtain closed. 2. His eyes flickered. Those trips were side excursions on business tours. Clients wanted them. What was I supposed to do? When I stayed silent, he lunged for my arm. "Lila, just tell me." Avery blocked him. "Mr. Cross, we'll miss the red-eye." The pitch. She offered me a sweet smile. "Rest, Miss Sterling. And believe me, there's nothing between Mr. Cross and me." "Nothing." Grayson shot me a final glare. "You should learn from Avery instead of sulking at home cooking up jealous fantasies." He strode away without looking back. Minutes later Skylar burst in, took one look at the bandage, and her eyes went red-rimmed. "Hell no. That bastard dumped you here alone?" She barreled into a hug. "Lila, did the concussion knock your common sense loose? Why stay with a mongrel like him?" I sniffed, forcing a grin. "Can't leave half a person lying around, bad for the decor." "Shut up." Your smile looks like a cracked plate. My grin collapsed, my throat burned. Skylar felt the tremor and tried to lighten the air. Plenty of fish, babe. I've been telling you to toss him back for years. I hummed softly. I listened this time. We're over. She blinked, stunned. For real? I nodded. She detonated. Must be that Shaw bitch. The day she joined Cross Tech I smelled slime. Eyes glued to him, every intern knew what she wanted. And you, silent. I stared at the ceiling, the scenes I'd buried flipping like slides. When had our 8 years begun to rot? The day Grayson hired Avery. She couldn't read a contract, messed up expenses 3 times running. He tore into her in front of the whole floor, then kept her, tutored her, promoted her to his side. I'd nudged him once, she's got a crush, you know. He'd laughed, arm around me. Paranoid, babe. Skylar stomped. You quit to play house for him, and the tramp strolled straight into your chair. I'd spent nights stirring broth I'd never cooked before, timing his meds, because the doctor warned his stomach was ulcer-bound. I know Skylar's right. But how could the girl I was ever imagine this ending? Skylar had just opened her mouth to keep cursing when she whipped her head around and snapped it shut. My face was streaked with tears, but my eyes were hollow, not a sound coming from me. What is it? She asked, voice dropping. The wound? I nodded and sniffed. It hurts. The next second every last dam inside me burst. I flung my arms around her and sobbed outright, shaking, gasping, the kind of crying that scrapes the throat raw. But Skylar didn't know. The worst pain wasn't the cut on my arm. It was my heart. 3. While I healed, Grayson texted every single day. At first the messages were icy accusations. Lila, I'm disappointed in you. When we're back you will apologize to Avery. She isn't what you think. Eventually, noting my silence, his tone shifted. Forget it, you're still sick. I won't hold it against you. Client from hell today. Drank too much. My stomach's killing me, miss the congee you make. Weekend's our wedding. Don't overthink. Afraid I'd unravel, Skylar basically moved in. I need to watch you. So you don't lose your mind one morning. We camped on the couch and scrolled TikTok clips to kill time. At first it was easy, street interviews with couples, Skylar munching chips, giggling nonstop. Then the next clip loaded. Her hand froze. She slammed the tablet shut. It's nothing. I reopened it. I saw. On screen, Grayson wore a deep blue graphic tee, Avery had the matching women's version. Side by side, natural and cozy, the host beamed. Y'all a couple? You look perfect together. Avery hid a smile, murmuring, no, just friends. Just friends, yet her eyes clung to Grayson's face like they carried 1,000 secrets. Grayson looked down, smiled faintly, said nothing, didn't deny. Comments exploded. Friends in couple shirts? Right. Green tea alert. Serious question, dudes, are you seriously this blind? Skylar exploded too. Even the internet can tell that witch is up to no good. Has the man got pudding for brains? I leaned back, stared at the ceiling, blinking hard. He knows, I croaked. He's enjoying every second. My phone buzzed, Grayson calling. I stared a few heartbeats, then answered. Immediate low snarl from the other end. Why the hell haven't you answered me? Lila, I'm telling you one last time, Avery and I are nothing. I cut him off. I already said, Grayson, we're done. Whoever you screw is none of my business. My tone sparked him, a 2-second silence, then the chill. How long do you plan to throw this tantrum? With that temper, only I would put up with you for years. A soft laugh slipped out. Then stop putting up, because I'm done with you. You're filthy, and I'm throwing you out. I hung up before he could answer, thumbs flying, number, WhatsApp, every link to him blocked in one clean sweep. Ping. A new text. Emery, your wedding is this weekend. When would you like to pick up the gown? I stared 2 beats, then typed, tomorrow. 4. Next morning I walked into Bella. The receptionist stood with a bright smile. Emery, you're here to cancel the wedding. Her smile crashed, fingers halting mid-keystroke. But, side door swung open. Before she finished, Grayson and Avery stepped out side by side. Behind them the planner gave me a sheepish glance. Emery. Mr. Cross just instructed us to swap brides for the day. I lifted a brow, gaze slicing across them. Grayson opened his mouth. I cut in first, cool and pleasant. Spare me. His eyes narrowed. Must you always be so sarcastic? I gave him a sweet smile. You misunderstand, I'm congratulating you. A match made in heaven. His face darkened, Avery's lips fought a victorious curve. Then my stare snagged. Beneath her jacket peeked a familiar crimson hem. I stepped forward, yanked the jacket wide. Sure enough, my heirloom gown. The golden phoenix stitching, once proud and bright, was now wrinkled and frayed, 2 pearl buttons at the bodice dangled by a thread. Avery froze, then tugged the fabric back, stammering, "Miss Sterling, don't be mad. It's just, my figure's too good. I only tried it on." I didn't expect such poor quality. I stayed silent, eyes icing over. Her lashes fluttered, voice small. I'll pay damages, okay? Grayson moved instantly, shielding her. Lila, you blocked me, ignored calls. You've decided you don't want the wedding. Invitations are out. What, you want me humiliated in public? If Avery weren't considerate enough to take your place, I'd be ruined. She wore your dress for your own good. Stop overreacting. It's just a gown, calm down. I lifted my eyes to his, voice low and lethal. My grandmother sewed that on her deathbed, every single stitch. Her last wish was to see me walk down the aisle in it. I spoke each word like ice cracking. And now you say it's just a gown? Grayson frowned, trying to speak. I didn't give him the chance. I lunged, fist knotting in Avery's hair, dragging her out from behind him. You want to pay? I hissed, rage roaring in my ears. Fine, pay with your damn life. My heel rammed into her stomach, she screamed, crumpling. You've lost it. Grayson roared, shoving me back so hard I collided with the table, forehead smacking the edge, fresh gauze blooming scarlet. Without a glance he turned to cradle Avery, face frantic. Gripping the table, I rose slowly, fingers curling around a bronze paperweight. I laughed once, sharp, brittle, and hurled it straight at the pair. Morgan, Grayson blocked her. The weight grazed his shoulder and shattered on the marble. Lost it? Let me show you what lost looks like. This isn't over either of you. 5. Avery took half a step, met my arctic glare, and shrank back, fear flickering. Grayson's brows drew tight. Lila, what exactly do you want today? I turned my head slowly, voice ice cold. I only came to cancel the wedding. But you kept pushing. Don't blame me for what happens next. Right then, the double door slammed open. Jamie, spotting the fresh blood seeping through the gauze on my forehead, exploded. Grayson. Skylar's roar rattled the display cases. Lila just got a concussion from your little manipulator over there, you know that. And you still dare touch her? Grayson finally noticed the red trickling past my temple. His face darkened and he instinctively reached to steady me. I stepped back, stone-faced, refusing the contact. Out of the corner of her eye, Avery caught the gesture. Her expression twisted and her breathing went ragged. Trembling with rage yet terrified to lunge at me, she could only glare, teeth clenched. Spinning around, she redirected the fire at Skylar and shrieked, "What happens between Mr. Cross and me is none of your business, stay out of it." Skylar chuckled, unhurried. I didn't name names, yet you jumped right out. At least you know your role. Avery shrieked again and lunged to yank Skylar's hair. Smack. Skylar's palm connected, Avery stumbled, cheek scarlet. I've wanted to do that for months, Skylar said, voice lethal. You delivered yourself to my door, don't expect courtesy. Avery staggered back, covering her face, tears pooling. Grayson barked, Skylar, enough, and moved to grab her. I snatched the heavy glass sculpture from the console and hurled it to the marble. Shards flew. I scooped up the sharpest sliver and leveled it at his chest. Touch my friend and I swear you'll regret it, I hissed. The air crystallized. Grayson froze, disbelief flickering across his eyes. He'd never seen me like this. Skylar glanced sideways, suddenly amused. Wow, there's the old Lila I remember. Uniformed officers strode in, badges glinting. The lead officer took in the glittering debris and the glass in my hand, instantly alert. Sir, are you being threatened or injured? He demanded. Grayson instinctively shifted, blocking me from view. No, it's a misunderstanding, he muttered. Instantly Quinn darted forward, tears streaming. Officer, they ganged up on me, hit me, cursed me, smashed things to scare me. I did nothing wrong. Ask the staff. She pointed at Skylar and me, voice quavering. The officer's jaw tightened, he scanned the room. Can anyone describe what actually happened? A bridal shop assistant hesitated, then spoke. I think. Emery did nothing wrong. Your name? The officer asked. I work here, she swallowed. The events manager stepped up too. That's right, officer. These two barged in to humiliate Miss Sterling. She only wanted to cancel the wedding. Riley's eyes reddened. You're lying. She paid you off. The assistant cut in coolly. Check the security feed, you'll see who provoked whom. And I already told her, the gown isn't store property, it's Emery's. She forced herself into it, split the zipper. The manager snorted. 10 years in this business, first time I see a groom bring the other woman to assault the bride 2 days before the wedding. If that's not bullying, what is? 6. After hearing everyone, the officer relaxed marginally. Sounds like tempers flared. Let's all calm down and settle this here. Settle? Avery shrieked, eyes bloodshot. She slandered me, hit me, arrest her. A laugh slipped through my lips. Save the victim act, Avery. Everyone here knows you wanted my spot beside Grayson. She opened her mouth, nothing came. I added, if you truly believe I assaulted you, go to the hospital. My treat. The officer cleared his throat. Medical bills covered? Then there's no real case. He glanced at Grayson. Marriage is a personal choice, sir, but ethics still matter. People are watching. Grayson's cheeks flushed. Furious that I was unscathed, Avery seized an officer's sleeve, screeching, you can't leave. She's insane, she'll kill me. Her mother's mentally ill and so is she. When she snaps she could do anything. The temperature dropped, every gaze snapped to me. Grayson's face blanched. Avery, shut up, Skylar exploded. The hell did you just say? I stood mute for a second, staring at Grayson. So even that secret you handed her. How very intimate. I never told her, he stammered. Doesn't matter. I cut him off with a faint smile. I pivoted toward Avery, eyes glacial. Since you know I'm the daughter of a madwoman, you'd better pray I stay sane, because who knows when the crazy kicks in? My tone stayed calm, but the blade of my gaze drove straight into her. Avery went white, shrinking back, then tried to bolt. I clamped a hand around her arm. Running? We haven't billed the gown, she squealed, shaking. I'll pay, okay? I released her, voice frosty. Fine. 880,000 USD. Wire it tomorrow. Avery gaped as though struck by lightning. What? She whirled toward Grayson. Mr. Cross, you heard her, she's extorting me for one little try-on. I tipped my head slowly toward her, then toward Grayson, a smile on my lips but my voice ice cold. This heirloom gown, my grandmother embroidered it herself, every single stitch, the week before she died. Tell me, is 880,000 USD too steep a price? Grayson's face froze for several seconds before he finally spoke, low and flat. Have the money wired to Lila's account by tomorrow, Mr. Cross? Avery spun around, disbelieving. I gave a thin laugh, unhurried. Miracles do happen, first time you've ever taken my side, Alex. Without another glance I took Skylar's hand and walked out. I'd barely cleared the door when Grayson caught up. Lila, I swear I didn't tell her anything about your mother. I never wanted to hurt you. I kept walking, eyes forward. So what if you didn't? Go console your little bride, Alex, I said softly. After all, you two are getting married tomorrow. 7. I stood at the restroom mirror, dabbing away the blood seeping from my temple while Skylar stamped her foot in fury. Damn it, if we'd known Grayson was such a dog we should have let him drown back then. Everything you gave him, and this is your reward? I looked down, swabbing antiseptic over the cut again and again, feeling nothing. Let it go, Taylor. Anger wasted on a man like that isn't worth the calories. My voice was quiet, threaded with exhaustion I couldn't hide. I was 10 the year Mom snapped after Dad's affair, slashed him with a paring knife, then slipped beneath the bathwater and never came up. On the day of her funeral Dad never showed. He left a letter, I won't raise her. She might bury a blade in me the way her mother did. Then he disappeared for good. Grandma took me in, insisting I was still loved, but classmates shunned me, teachers watched me like I might detonate. I fought, cut classes, wore indifference like armor. One afternoon I spotted a gang pummeling a boy outside an alley. He clutched his backpack like it held the world. I waded in and chased the thugs off. The kid looked up, face swollen, grin pure sunlight. Samu. I'm Grayson. What's your name? I led him to Grandma's, cleaned his scrapes, boiled him porridge. Between spoonfuls he said, "You're the coolest girl I've ever met." Years later he met me again, tailored suit, floor-to-ceiling windows, handing me sunflowers. "Lila, I love you. Be my girl." I hesitated. I feared I'd love the way my mother had, enough to wreck us both. He clasped my hand. "I'm not your father. I'll never leave. I'll protect you for life." I chose to believe him. Looking back, laughable, Skylar dropped onto the sofa, slugged whiskey, and hissed, "He's a beast in a Brioni suit." "No, beasts have more honor." I lifted my glass, clinked hers. To the dog, may his marriage be blissful. We drank till dawn. When I woke, my phone showed 2 transfers. One, $880,000 memo, gown damages. The other, from Grayson, read only. "Sorry." I stared a moment, then smirked. Skylar peeked and yelped, "Holy, 5 million? Lila, don't you dare send it back." I pocketed the phone. "Relax. I won't. It's exactly what I'm owed." I'd expected Avery's Instagram to explode, rock, veil, Grayson at the aisle. Instead, the first headline was, "Grayson leave at the altar." 8. Word was, Avery was fully made up, veiled, waiting backstage at the venue. When the MC announced, "Let's welcome the groom to escort his bride," every guest perked up, except Grayson, standing motionless on the crimson carpet. He stared at the bouquet of sunflowers, the ones I'd once sworn by, the ones he'd copied for her bridal clutch. Sunflowers, steadfast, blazing, fearless. He used to say they reminded him of me. Avery finally rushed over, heels stabbing the runner, and seized his arm. "Mr. Cross, what are you doing? Everyone's watching." He looked through her, eyes unfocused, as if waking from a dream. Seconds ticked by before he muttered, "I can't. I thought she could be replaced, but I can't do it." He flung off her hand and strode away. Gasps rippled through the hall. Business partners, elders, gossip-hungry friends leapt up, phones lifted like lighters at a concert. Avery blanched, clawed at him. "Mr. Cross, you've lost your mind? Think of the company, your parents, our reputations," she hissed. "If it's Lila you want, grin through the vows and sort it later." "Enough," he rasped, wrenching free. He loosened his tie, popped every shirt button like shedding a straitjacket, and descended the steps without looking back. Cameras caught every frame. By midnight the clip dominated the trending tab. "Runaway groom dumps bride, still loves ex?" Read the headlines. Skylar watched, laughed so hard she choked, and dialed me, "Lila, look. The mutt ditched his manipulator live on camera. He's burned through 4 numbers trying to reach me, begging on iMessage for your address. All blocked." I kept cutting silk. "He means nothing. Let him rot." "That's my girl," she cheered. When the call ended I spread the next layer of heirloom satin across the table. I'd converted Grandma's tiny shop into Atelier Lila, dedicated to hand-sewn traditional gowns. The plan had been simple, honor her craft, but a single restoration photo caught fire online. In the shot the gown drapes against lattice windows, tarnished gold and relayed silver threads shimmer where rips once gaped, the embroidery softer, richer for the mending. One commenter wrote, "A dress with soul, every single stitch holds memory." Grayson must have seen it. He traced the pattern on screen, transfixed. 9. I just didn't expect him to come knocking so soon. That evening I was locking up the studio when he appeared in the doorway, watching me. His suit was rumpled, his gaze dim. "Lila, can we talk?" I didn't answer. I kept wiping the table, head down. He stood there a moment longer. "I didn't marry Avery that day." I gave a short laugh. "I know. Instagram already screamed it. Cross CEO's wedding called off, bride in tears. Quite the circus." He opened his mouth as if to explain, but all he finally managed was, "I was wrong. Got it." I finished the last pane of glass, flipped the lock, and shut the door. I walked past him, deliberately angling my shoulder away. In a low voice he asked, "What would it take for you to forgive me?" I paused, turned, and looked at Grayson, perfectly calm. "If you seriously want to make amends, stop barging into my life. Do that, and I'll consider myself forgiven." His face froze, the foot he'd half-lifted seemed stuck to the pavement. He stayed there, silent. A few days later the internet suddenly exploded with a viral post. Ex stirs up drama, steals fiancé then plays victim, disgusting. The clip showed me arguing with them at Bella, viciously edited. The footage of them trying on my heirloom gown and striking me had been sliced out. All that remained was me losing my cool and hurling a champagne flute. Caption: she threw a tantrum at Mr. Cross's rehearsal just because she used to date him. Wedding's off and now she's internet famous? The top comments got nastier by the second. She's such a fake. She chased him, now she cries wolf. Nice try, other woman, but we see you. My comment section was overrun. The studio phone rang off the hook with curses. Even brides started to waver. Emery, those stories online, they're not true, right? I fought off a pounding headache and explained, over and over. Still the trolls kept calling, spewing filth. Someone even showed up at the shop and dumped a bucket of red paint across the door, drowning the painted sign Ran Couture in screaming crimson. When Skylar heard, she practically burst through the line, Lila. Why didn't you tell me? Are you insane? I'm on the next flight. I leaned back in my chair, voice barely above a whisper. Don't come. Your schedule's packed, and I'm fine. This won't break me. Next morning the storefront was spotless, not a drop of paint remained. 2 new potted plants flanked the entrance. I blinked in surprise. The neighbor from the coffee roaster next door lounged in his doorway. Next time something like this happens, holler. One person can't handle everything. Unexpected, he didn't look like the meddling type. I ventured, your name? He hesitated, as if weighing the word, then said, Asher. As he spoke it he flicked a glance at me, waiting for recognition. I simply nodded. Sam, Mr. Vale. Something unreadable flickered in his eyes before he looked away. Shop's right next door. Shout if you need anything. 10. Overnight, the online tide flipped. Grayson finally spoke out, posting on the company account a statement headlined with an old photo of us and a timeline of our 8-year relationship. The cancelled wedding wasn't sudden. I failed Lila. Avery was never my girlfriend, only my assistant, and she has since been dismissed. To Lila, no apology can ever suffice. The internet went wild. Avery's past was dredged up. Netizens found a street interview clip in which she'd sworn they were just buddies. Weren't you only friends? How did Sidepiece versus Queen even start? Has anything you said ever been true? She trended for 3 straight days. Her Weibo comments turned into a wasteland. First she blamed a well-meaning friend for the smear post and begged for understanding. The mob wasn't buying it and roasted her again. Meanwhile Crosstech felt the aftershock. Partners pulled out, the stock price plunged, and boardroom vultures circled. Grayson was forced to sell controlling shares. Jordan. I thought the curtain had finally fallen, until an appointment pinged my calendar. The client called herself hearing impaired and asked to meet in person. I thought nothing of it and scheduled her for the following afternoon. She arrived in a wide-brim hat, sunglasses, and a mask. Not a word. I measured her waist. When I turned to grab my notebook, a flash of steel flared in the mirror. I spun, seized her wrist, knocked the knife away, and pinned her to the cutting table. One yank revealed her face. No surprise, Avery. I rammed my knee into her leg. She crumpled, whimpering as she tried to crawl. Leisurely I pulled a shearing blade from the rack and speared it between her fingers, the edge quivering a hair from her skin. I chuckled. Gray never warned you. I grew up street fighting. You want to play with knives, against me? She went corpse white, trembling. Besides. I leaned in, ice in my eyes. You knew my mother was hospitalized for mental illness, remember? This stuff runs in families. Footsteps sounded. Ellis pushed through the door, smiling faintly. Still as efficient as ever. My gaze sharpened. We've met before? He strolled closer, glancing at Avery on the floor. Plenty of time to remember. The police arrived shortly and hauled her away. This time Grayson didn't shield her. Instead he bankrolled a top-tier prosecutor to press for the maximum sentence. A few days later my phone chimed with a Venmo transfer alert. Sender, Grayson. Amount, 50 million USD. Memo, for everything you gave those years, what should have been yours? Sorry it took so long. I stared at the line a long time, then unblocked the number I'd sworn never to call again. He picked up instantly, voice cracking, afraid I'd hang up. Lila, is that you? I have so much to say. I cut in, tone flat. Grayson, this is our last conversation. I just want you to know, whatever should belong to Lila, nobody can steal. But anything I no longer want, I never take back. And, thanks for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and share with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more great stories. See you next time.